These fans stormed a Formula One track and totally regretted it. And these ones, they started a fight just because of a driver. That's what happens when fans ruin Formula One. Sometimes you don't even have to be behind the wheel to become a target of this kind of hate. Naomi Schiff's story reveals a really ugly side of the Formula One fan base. Naomi started karting at just 11 years old and built a solid racing career with titles and appearances in major categories. But when she debuted as a pundit for Sky Sports F1 in 2022, something awful happened. She was bombarded with hate online. A bunch of people started questioning her qualifications just because she's a woman and black, completely ignoring her background and experience in motorsport. The backlash got so out of hand that even Lewis Hamilton stepped in to defend her, praising her work and reminding everyone just how important representation is in the sport. That helped calm things down a bit, but the damage was already done. The whole episode made it painfully clear that, unfortunately, there are still people out there who just can't handle seeing diversity, even off the track. And that wasn't the only time fans got caught up in controversy. Everyone knows 2021 was Max Verstappen's year, but winning that title was anything but easy.
Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside, a continent touch! Verstappen is out of the race and that's a big crash into Copse! Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen coming together!
At the British Grand Prix, Hamilton and Max ended up colliding and Max went straight into the barriers. But what happened afterward was just as concerning. The official Mercedes account got flooded with racist messages, and Hamilton, he even received death threats. He wasn't the only one, because Mercedes fans quickly clapped back, throwing insults at Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Things got so heated that the drivers themselves had to step in and try to calm everyone down. But honestly, the saddest part is how this kind of thing is becoming more and more common, just like what recently happened with Yuki Tsunoda. And man, in 2021, the whole world was watching as Lewis and Max went head-to-head all season long. It was epic. But then in Abu Dhabi, the final race of the year, this happened.
It's made contact into turn 9, Verstappen stays ahead, but the championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021. Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
As crazy as it sounds, for some fans, the biggest talking point that day wasn't Max's win, it was this crash. What happened was that Nicholas Latifi's crash triggered the safety car, which ended up playing a huge role in helping Max clinch the title. And for some fans, that mistake was just unforgivable. Latifi got absolutely slammed online. Things escalated so badly that he had to delete his social media just to escape the wave of insults and threats. It got so intense that people were actually threatening his life, and the poor guy had to start walking around with bodyguards. But what fans did on this other day was so bad, it actually had to be investigated by the police. In 2022, the Spielberg circuit in Austria saw one of the most tense weekends in Formula One history. While the cars were flying around the track, what was happening in the stands was absolutely disgusting. Fans reported multiple cases of harassment, homophobia, and even racism directed at Hamilton supporters. Things got so serious that Formula One had to speak out right away, promising to increase security at future events. But sadly, the damage was already done. These fans did something unbelievable. I mean, can we even call them fans? They were more like protesters. Anyway, it all went down at the 2022 Silverstone Grand Prix. A group of activists thought it'd be a great idea to stage a protest right in the middle of the track, with cars flying by at over 200 miles per hour. And yeah, as you can imagine, it didn't end well. To make things worse, there was actually a crash right before the invasion happened.
Ahead of Carlos Sainz, and at the back that's George Russell, out of this race, who's finished in the top 5 in every race this season, but he's out.
After that crash, you'd think they would have reconsidered what they were about to do. But no, right after the incident at the start, members of the group Just Stop Oil ran onto the track and sat right in the middle of it. The protest was meant to draw attention to environmental issues, but unluckily for them, the whole thing wasn't even shown on TV. Thankfully, the police acted fast and it was really close to turning into a tragedy.
This is a climate emergency! This is a climate emergency!
But this day, the one who got caught in the mess was Max Verstappen, and he ended up getting booed for the dumbest reason. At the 2023 Miami Grand Prix, Max had barely arrived at the circuit when a huge part of the crowd started booing him. But he didn't care one bit. He just did what he always does. Even though he started in 9th place, he completely dominated the race and came out with the win.
The final corners, Max Verstappen wins the Miami Grand Prix with a masterclass of performance. 9th on the grid to the top step of the podium.
Guess what? The crowd still didn't care. They kept booing him, even as he stood on the podium, trophy in hand.
Because for the 3rd year running, it is Max Verstappen, to a few boos, I'm afraid to say, who takes that top step. For Max Verstappen, the governor of Texas presents the trophy to Max Verstappen. Now, at the peak of his excellence on the track, but not popular off it.
But why all the hate? Well, some fans felt that Max's dominance in Formula One had made the championship boring, and others were still mad about the 2021 season, where a lot of people believe he won unfairly in that controversial battle with Hamilton.
Far enough back, he's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees him coming. It's a late lunge by Verstappen, who takes the lead of the race.
What do you think? Was it fair or not? That same year at the Italian Grand Prix, Max got booed again, but this time Charles Leclerc stepped in and asked the fans to stop. What a legend! Track invasion in Formula One happened back in the 2000s, and it involved none other than Michael Schumacher. That day, Schumacher had just won the Monza Grand Prix and tied in career wins with his idol, Ayrton Senna. It was an incredible moment, so emotional in fact that Schumacher broke down in tears during the post-race press conference.
Thanks, Michael.
But he wasn't the only one overcome with emotion. The entire crowd went wild after the win and straight up stormed the track. Some fans even got close enough to touch Schumacher's car while it was still moving, which, let's be honest, is absolutely insane and incredibly dangerous. Luckily, no one got hurt. But that wasn't the only time fans ended up dragging the sport's name through the mud. Fast forward to 2023, and the Mexican Grand Prix turned into a complete mess. That day, Sergio Perez went all out at the start, hoping to put on a show for his home crowd.
Go with a good reaction time for the Ferraris, but Max Verstappen is trying to dart between the pair of them. Checo Perez trying to go around the outside. He's made contact. He's made contact with Charles Leclerc into the first corner. Perez spins round.
Yeah, on the very first turn, Perez crashed and had to retire from the race. Things were already looking bad, but then it got even worse when fans in the stands started fighting each other. The footage went viral, showing just how tense things got in the stands. And in the end, Perez, who just wanted to give his fans something to cheer about, ended up being the target of a national meltdown. One of the guys involved in the fight was kicked out of the circuit and permanently banned from all Formula One events. But the worst track invasion in Formula One happened back in the 2000s, and it involved none other than Michael Schumacher. That day, Schumacher had just won the Monza Grand Prix and tied in career wins with his idol, Ayrton Senna. It was an incredible moment, so emotional in fact that Schumacher broke down in tears during the post-race press conference.
Thanks, Michael.
But he wasn't the only one overcome with emotion. The entire crowd went wild after the win and straight up stormed the track. Some fans even got close enough to touch Schumacher's car while it was still moving, which, let's be honest, is absolutely insane and incredibly dangerous. Luckily, no one got hurt. But became one of the biggest embarrassments in Formula One history. In 2008, during pre-season testing in Barcelona, the world witnessed a truly awful scene. A group of Spanish fans showed up at the track with their faces painted black, wearing wigs and shirts filled with racist slurs. All of this was meant to be a protest against Lewis Hamilton. But why? It all started the year before, in 2007, when Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso were teammates at McLaren. Alonso was already a two-time world champion, and Hamilton was a brilliant rookie. But what should have been an unbeatable duo quickly turned into one of F1's most iconic iconic rivalries. There were internal fights, penalties, and even sabotage. Everything you don't want in a team. And in the end, neither of them took the title. The tension carried over into the following season, and that's when some fans crossed the line completely. Let's be real, this wasn't funny. It was pure hate dressed up as provocation. Thankfully, Formula One didn't stay silent. The organisers condemned the incident, and several drivers spoke out against what those fans did. But the damage had already been done, and that day went down as one of the darkest moments in F1 history.